Hello and welcome to Monday Mavericks here at OCD Gamechangers. You're on our Facebook page. Thank you so much for being here and for joining us. This series is about elevating people who are doing really cool, innovative stuff to raise awareness, to sell product, to bring to light what OCD really is, today we're definitely going to get into that topic, which is so exciting. So thank you for being here. This series has been so cool. We've met so many awesome people, and there is no shortage of awesome people today. So Elise, I'm going to have you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Chrissy. So my name is Elise. I am the owner and founder of The Octopus, which is an OCD advocacy and recovery shop. We're run through Etsy. I also am a very avid TikTok fan with the same handle as my shop, The Octopus, seen below. But I love TikToking about OCD and just what it's really like. It's a really fun and creative way to try and break down the stigma. It's short, it's sweet, and I love that. My products are also very short and sweet and to the point. We have a lot of work to do with getting the world to know what OCD is, and I'm not here for a long-winded explanation. I'm here to get it in people's heads. And yeah, I've lived with OCD since I was 6. My first compulsions were around 6, and then by 9, it was like full-blown taking over my life. So pediatric onset, I know it in and out probably better than anything else. So I'm happy to be doing this work. It's very fulfilling to me.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. We've got great people listening already. There's Sean and Noelle and Dave. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, Noelle your TikTok is great. She's a huge fan. Yes. So thank you everybody for being here, and thank you, Elise. So exciting to talk about some of this stuff. Just wanted to tell you really quickly, please save the date. December 12th is our next big OCD Game Changers fundraising event. And Elise and Octopus, which, by the way, y'all, if you listen to Fireside Fridays, yes, I kept saying OCD-opus, and I was saying it all wrong. And my apologies. But anyway,
we're going to get there.
We're going to be giving away some merchandise. Game Changers has purchased a lot of the OCD is not obsessed. Oh God, where's the camera? Is not obsessive Christmas disorder. We've got lots of these. We're going to be giving them away at our event December 12th. It's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. OCD Facebook page, or OCD Game Changers Facebook page, OCD Game Changers YouTube channel. And we're going to have over 20 people checking in, talking to us about how they're doing during this COVID mess. And it is going to be a lot of fun. Not Alone Notes is co-hosting it with me, and they've got a special announcement that night. Y'all want to join, and you also want to donate. If you like this kind of programming, please consider donating to OCD Game Changers. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we do accept donations. Every penny that comes to that organization goes towards the initiatives that we create to help spread awareness and help create community and solutions to some of our biggest obstacles in this community. Go to OCD Game Changers, click the donate button, do it now. We really would appreciate your support. So let's get into Octopus. Yay! Okay, so first let's start with, how did you become, first of all, Elise and I met, we may have met before this, but I feel like we officially met when we started working together, kind of doing the TikTok stuff. I have like a young adult group that's been doing TikToks for OCD Game Changers on Tuesdays, TikTok Tuesday. And Elise is one of the head people doing those. So really appreciative of all your work that you do. So glad that we know each other now and are going to work together in the future. So tell us how you got into advocating, because it's not easy just to dive into it. So what's your story?
Sure. So I was thinking about this today, and it's probably one of the only stories in my life where I feel like it has a point A, B, C, D, and that's what got me into advocating. It actually was pretty straightforward for me. I had OCD, obviously. By the time I even considered advocating, it was about 10 years at least after I'd gotten treatment for the first time. And I just never thought, I had like really taboo, intrusive thoughts. So I never was really thinking about talking about that. But I was in college and I was at the involvement fair. And I was just walking around and I felt like everyone in college had a cause that they were really passionate about, like animals or the environment or all these things. And those things mattered to me, but they didn't get me really fired up. And I came across the To Write Love on Her Arms booth, which is another nonprofit dedicated to mental health advocacy. And they had a university chapter, and it was really small, and there were barely any people in it. And I was like, well, I already have mental illness. So prereqs met, and I joined, and I got on the e-board. And then from there, they had NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness. The New Jersey office came as a guest. And I was like, wow, this is like a big thing. There's like a lot of organizations dedicated to mental health advocacy. And they asked me to share my story with OCD one Christmas for like a donation campaign. And I did that. And I was at their conference because I started working there. And a woman who had been to the IOCDF conferences with her son, Adrian, love her, but she told me, she was like, I saw your story. Have you ever been to the IOCDF conferences? And I was like, no, I've always just done like mental health in general. I've never thought about doing like OCD advocacy specifically. And after that, I just got more into advocating for OCD specifically. And I've just found it very fulfilling. Obviously, mental health in general has like a special place in my heart, but the OCD experience is very specific, and I would love to tell the world more about that. So that's kind of how I got here. And then when the pandemic hit, I started TikTok, and that just kind of became like a solid platform for me. And it just built and built and built. And I was like, maybe I should do merch. And that's how we're here.
Yes. Awesome. And this is great to hear this. I started out with working with NAMI too.
Oh, really?
Here in Denver. I did their there's a program, something. I went to a training and
is it In Our Own Voice?
Yes, I did In Our Own Voice.
Yeah.
And that's really how I got started. And then kind of similarly to you, once I started doing that, then it was like, okay, now I'm going to go into OCD, the OCD world, and just found such an enormous sense of community. I mean, you know, when you have OCD, you just get it, you know, and shit is shitty.
Yeah. Even
nice to be around people who just know that.
Yeah, like at the NAMI stuff, like I love NAMI with my whole heart. I really do. But I was the only person with OCD there. NAMI, I've noticed, has a lot of focus on bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and rightfully so, because they're very stigmatized. I just felt like I didn't really meet anyone else with OCD, and like no one understood my intrusive thoughts. They didn't understand where I was coming from. So I loved their work, but yeah, the community just felt a lot tighter in the OCD community because they could relate more.
Yep, definitely. And hi to everybody who's joining us. Sam is here. She says Elise is the best, and Honey says hi. She loves TikTok. Hello, Mona, and Princess Kelly is here from Australia. Yay! It's already Tuesday in Australia. I hope it's a good day so far. Okay, let's talk. And then not alone notes. Hey, I already gave y'all a shout out. I hope that you heard it. I'll do it again a little later though. Let's talk about your inspiration for this project.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
I'm so excited that you're doing this. It's like finally someone's doing it.
Yeah, so pretty much, I know a lot of us have heard about this. It was a couple of years ago. I mean, it's been going on for much longer than that, but a couple of years ago, Target, a brand that everyone loves and flocks to, with so much power and so much influence, put out a sweater or a shirt. Not really interested in the details of it, but it said obsessive Christmas disorder on it. And I, for years, have just posted on my Facebook, and I've been like, stop saying that OCD has to do with chocolate and corgis and coffee and Christmas and all these things, because people don't almost like end their lives because they love all these inanimate objects and things. And no other disorder. If you ever saw a shirt that made fun of HIV like that, I only said that as my example, like human ice cream virus, it would be on the news. It would be an uproar. If you make fun of cancer, yeah.
Yep, cancer with a let's put acronym for cancer for smoking. How about that?
Yeah.
No. It would be awful.
No, it would never fly. It flies with OCD, and I just wanted to do something that directly combated it. So this year I was like, I'm gonna make a shirt that is exactly the opposite of what those shirts say. And it just says is not, because apparently there's a lesson that the world needs very directly that it is not, it has nothing to do with Christmas. So I put there's a shirt, there's ornaments, there's stickers. So all of that says the same thing. And that's how this shop specifically started. And I also have other stickers and other future products that are dedicated to like recovery concepts from OCD. They're niche things that like our community would get that maybe someone else at first may not get. And it's a good jumping point for advocating. Like if someone sees your shirt and they're like, well, what's the big deal? Like, why is it a big deal if someone says like Christmas disorder? Because some people genuinely don't see the harm in it until it's explained to them.
Yeah. And lots of people in the comments, by the way, are saying like, I'm wearing my shirt, awesome shirts. So you've already gotten around. And hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We've got Mike Sizemore. Hello, Michael Schramm. Yay. We've got Eli, who's just joining us. He says it feels comforting and relaxing to listen to people who just get it. Oh, I know, doesn't it? I mean, that's what's so amazing about our community. So I just want to personally thank you on air for doing this shirt and doing this project. It's so exciting. I too felt very helpless whenever Christmas would come around and this would surface. I remember seeing it for the first time in 2015. That was the first time I ever saw it. And then it was, oh, we're going to write Target. We're going to do this. Well, nobody cares like at that level. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, whatever, if this stuff is selling. I mean, I've even heard people, in the community that's like, oh, whatever. It's just a joke. It's like, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure our voices could drown those little voices out, but it's not funny. It's not quirky. And the message that you're sending is really, really harmful.
Yeah, it's a twofold problem, honestly, because one, it's the same problems that come up every time OCD is misused, even in like sentences when people say they're so OCD. It brings us further and further from the public knowing what OCD is. So people who don't have it, or not people who don't have it, people who have it and don't know they have it won't figure out they have it, and they'll just suffer needlessly because they won't know that there's anything available, and they won't know that what they're suffering from is OCD. So that's one problem. And then the other is just how extremely painful it is for people who have suffered for years with OCD just to see it made light of because someone loves Christmas. So it's like it hits way more people than just people who have OCD now anyway, which is plenty of people for it to still make a difference that we should probably not be making those shirts.
Yeah. Well, and I agree. I do feel like the tides have turned just a little bit in recent years, where when someone makes fun of OCD, you can see a slew of comments that are like, OCD is not a joke, yada, 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 but that we still have so much, we still have so far to go. But I do remember specifically the first few years that this sweater would come out, I just lost so much steam in trying to combat it on social media just head on, because you just get, then just like you were saying, there's like all these layers of shame and stigma. And then when you're trying to stand up for what you've been through, then it's, oh my God, can't you just lighten up? And you just go, and then you hear things like, you can't die from OCD.
No.
I remember hearing that and feeling so much shame for having a suicide attempt, and then going, well, do I really want to get into this on like a comment thread on Facebook? But I just I didn't waste time. I don't want to say that, but I just lost, I lost the need and the urgency to really just battle people about it. So this is the perfect way to respond, because this is really just Okay, well, we're not even going to have a discussion. Boom, here's your message.
Yeah. And
Here's
then
your sign.
like there definitely has been progress. Like I made the shirt and for a second I was like, maybe I'm imagining this and the problem's gone and I'm just hanging on to it from before. But so Target has not put out that shirt again, but they did have a partner on their website this year who made a pillow. And I was like, pillow shirt, still don't like it. And
Exactly.
Etsy, where my shop is, if you type in OCD, all of the top results right now are me and those shirts, like in all fashions.
Yay!
And even when I was looking at like trademarks and whatever, there are no trademarks on Not, but there are 3 on OCD Obsessive Christmas Disorder. And I was like, that's
Wow. Wow.
so people want legal rights to that.
Oh my gosh, I got your legal rights. What are your thoughts on doing other, other this is just out of the blue. I just randomly got this question and thought, by the way, so no pressure. But what are your thoughts on doing, other merch that has things like OCD is not obsessive coffee disorder or obsessive whatever disorder? Have you thought about that?
I haven't thought about, I just saw something specifically. I'm going to have to fight the urge to write it. Nah, I can write it down, maybe. But anyway, I've thought about that. I haven't thought so much about the is not specifically being put on other things, but now that you're saying that, I can definitely see a lot of different avenues you can take with that. I know we did talk a couple months ago about, I don't want to share all my good ideas on the air. It makes me nervous.
No, don't.
That's
I
like
just
that
wanted
big.
to say, could we anticipate seeing things like that in the
Yes,
future?
yes, you can definitely
Okay.
anticipate, and you can anticipate more of getting the recovery concepts out into the public too, because
Mhm.
it's not an OCD built world is kind of my thought. Like those quotes about you are you what you think and your thoughts become your reality. It's they like those people. That's not an OCD way to live. That's like a big like that's gonna send me back like 30 feet. Like I don't. So I want to get out more products that promote OCD recovery concepts so that people can keep it in their minds and
Right.
learn about it from other people because
You mean like you aren't what you think?
yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, really. Maybe people wouldn't I need to get like an MSW or something so that I can have more education behind it. But right now, I'm a person with a lot of ideas and a lot of experience and a lot of need to tell the public how it really is.
I think a great bumper sticker would be if we are what we think, there would be a lot of dead people driving, dead people on the roads because everybody wants to kill people in traffic. There would be a lot of murders in traffic. There you go.
Yeah.
That was random, but it's true. That's like the first intrusive thought I always think of like everybody has intrusive thoughts. Everybody wants to murder people in traffic. Like the
Mhm.
end. You want to get out of your car and burn a car down. That's the bottom line. And nobody gets upset about that unless you have OCD.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite. My dad, like my dad is like, I only say that my dad's like thoughts and his outlandish ways of thinking and my mom's anxiety came together and made me with OCD because my dad will talk about like all the intrusive thoughts I've ever had and just be like, don't you ever just want to blah, 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 like run someone over with your car? And I'm like, no. It's like, yes. And he's like, whatever, like I'm not going to do it, but I just really wanna. And I'm like, how do you say that? But it's just a totally different world for those neurotypicals.
Oh, Sean David, my husband, he tells me all the time what his intrusive thoughts are. I'm like, wow. And you don't have OCD? And he says them like with a smile and a laugh. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be worrying about that tonight.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, I'm going to picture that at least 70 more times, but I'm glad that you can move on from it.
So we have a question that I think is a good one. Gemma, I hope I'm saying your name right. Gemma,
Probably Gemma.
Gemma. Okay. Sorry. She says, do you think there's a flip side benefit to the increase in people using the OCD term incorrectly? For example, it triggers discussions about awareness like this one. That in turn might help more non-OCD folks realize the issue.
I would agree that's definitely a benefit while we're in this time of people not knowing what OCD is, for sure. Yeah, I was right, Gemma, like a gym. Okay, but I think it's definitely a benefit for right now. The hope is that long term we don't have to hope that that is a benefit, hopefully in the future. Like, I want people to snap like their necks when someone says like obsessive Christmas disorder and be like, why'd you say that? Like the way that when you talk about like, you know, cancer, that's just always the one that comes to mind because cancer is so serious and you can't make light of it and you shouldn't. And I want the same response for mental illnesses because they can destroy your life just as much. But I do, that's a motivating way to think about it though, I would say. So I do appreciate the positive spin on that.
And I would say my response to that would be, I think unfortunately now there's when you're saturated in the OCD community, like all my friends like have mental illness.
Same. They're all commenting
like,
right now.
Like, everybody in my world. But when I step out of that and talk to people who don't understand, it is jarring to me that people really just, I mean, I talk and speak about OCD all day, every day, intrusive thoughts, the groinal, whatever else. And when I'm out of my bubble and I truly see how many people don't know and how many people don't understand, even people that have been in my life for years, and they'll still say some shit on Facebook, like, they'll make light of OCD. I'm like, haven't you seen my posts for the last 5 years? I think there's not enough people willing to fight back just yet. So I think, maybe, yes, in a while when kind of the tables are turned and there's more people willing to stand up than not, that it can be a conversation starter and it can be an opportunity to educate. But I do think right now, especially in our political environment, people are not all that interested in hearing about PC terms. So
I'm laughing at Sam's.
What did she say?
I may or may not be one of said mentally ill friends Elise mentioned, but let's just say with the uncertainty there. Yeah, I agree that in our current political climate, I'm a special snowflake if I say you shouldn't talk about OCD like that. But that's a risk I'm willing to take, but I understand why not everyone wants to be combative like that. And I pick and choose where I do that. I don't do it everywhere. I mean, actually for me, even buying, this is my first OCD shirt I've ever owned. I've never bought any of the other shirts because I'm really obsessive about money. So now I have my shirt, but I was nervous when I wore it a little bit for the shoot. And that's why I always say with advocacy, if you're nervous, and that means there's still something to be fighting against, because it's still like a move, like a power move. Because if I'm nervous for people to see me in it, that means there's still stigma about being seen in it.
Absolutely. I had someone, I'm not going to mention any names, but I had someone the other day see the shirt and said something along the lines of, ugh, and rolled their eyes and said, this is just a cliche. I don't think that they understand what the term cliche means. But I was like, luckily my husband said something. He's actually said, no, it's not. And it's not funny. Like, my wife almost died from that. And I was like, hey,
I need to find one of those woke neurotypicals. Where are they?
I found him on Tinder, but that was 6 years ago. When Tinder was more. So I actually, we're getting to time, but I think this is an important question that just came up into my brain. Since we're talking about this, And since we're going to run into this into the Christmas season, or we're going to run into it in general, what are some good responses that we can give to people when they're like, oh my God, look at this mug I got. It says obsessive coffee disorder. Like, and like our heads would snap. But what can we say to people that educates them, that balances the education without offending them?
I feel like one tactic I usually use is I kind of place blame on society and not on the person themselves. Like, I'm like, hey, I know you may not have thought of this before, but like as someone with OCD, I run into this a lot and I've suffered a lot from OCD. So when people make products that make light of it, it hurts me, but I understand that as someone who doesn't have OCD, you may not have thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if it was a gift, it's like, I understand you didn't buy this, but in the future, maybe consider that when you're buying things.
That's so nice. If I know them well, I usually, oh God, this is awful. I usually think about something that they've suffered from or that someone they know has suffered from that's impacted them, and I like to try to compare it to that. That's awful, isn't it? But it's true. It hits them where they need to be hit. Of like, like, yeah, but cancer, that I always use that example.
Yeah.
Or, like if someone is, let's say if they've had a relative die or survive cancer, like that's what I would say is like, hey, how would you feel if I like said, look at my cancer cup, I got a cancer ashtray.
Even hearing that, I'm like, oh God.
I know, right? But it hits people where they need
cup.
I'm not laughing at it. Like, oh my God, if someone just comes into this feed and doesn't see the whole thing, they're going to be like, bitch just said cancer cup. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hit people in the way that I think is going to harm them, but I think it puts things into perspective. If they've almost lost someone, or if they've dealt with someone or themselves have suffered with something, it's so important to say, hey, what would it feel like for someone to make fun of you or the disorder or, the battle you had with X, Y, and Z? How would you feel about that? I usually try to not hit them where it hurts, but hit them where it would feel.
My spiel was for strangers. I was picturing a stranger.
Oh.
If I know them, you better not be saying that to me or buying those things, because I'm going to be like,
oh, if it was a stranger, I would just pick the cup up and slam it on the ground. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I will just carry these stickers around and be like, you look like you need this more than I do.
I think the bottom line is helping people to understand or to evoke empathy. I used to get really angry. For a long time, I got angry, but I think, like I said earlier, I just ran out of steam. I ran out of just the energy to battle people. But if you can get people in the empathy feels, that's where people are going to go, oh, okay. And we can turn that from being like, oh, we're just being so PC to more about like, hey, we have this, this very debilitating disorder that a lot of people suffer from, and you're making fun of them. And something I might say to people is, if I didn't know them, I would probably say, do you know anybody with OCD? And then if they say no, I'd be like, now you do. Yeah.
Except no handshakes, pandemic,
But of course they would say, oh, I have OCD because I like to fold my towels a certain way. And that's a whole other story we could go into.
My one, a former coworker of mine who was above me, but they were like, I think they were talking about me to someone else and they were trying to compliment me. And they were like, I think she's going to be really good at this job because she's got OCD like I do. And I was like, oh, you have OCD? And they were like, no. And I was like, I actually have OCD. And they were like, wait, what? Like it totally threw them off, but then they didn't totally get it. And I actually had to bring it up again later, which was very awkward. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
the opportunities come fast and quick. The advocacy opportunities, the window is short sometimes.
Oh my gosh. The best thing to say to somebody like that, like if I was in that position, would be like, oh, you think you're a murderer and a pedophile too?
Yeah,
And I
right.
bet they would be like,
Yeah, right. I'm like, have you heard of
what?
the groinal response?
Did
They'd
your
be like,
book
you're
do when you
fired.
talk to me? I know that's true.
Which that's all a different issue. We forgot something, I just realized. So another thing, actually, no.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. Well, let's tell people where they can get your stuff and then tell them about the donation to Game Changers.
Yeah. That was what I was like, wait, let's see if we get there. Yeah, so you can go, so ultimately all roads lead to Etsy, but there are a few ways to get to Etsy. We are on Facebook under the same handle that you see on the screen at The Octopus. We're on Instagram under the same handle. We're on TikTok under the same handle. All of those have links that will lead you to Etsy. You could go to Etsy.com and type in The Octopus and it will lead you to the shop. There's no one else with the name, so that's a perk. No one else is interested in combining animals and OCD, I guess. Yeah, so those are all different paths. And yes, the important part is that not only will you be helping to spread awareness with these products, and also for your own personal validation to have a product of your own that validates you and your experience with OCD while educating others. We are donating 20% of proceeds of the sticker. Let me do one more show of the sticker.
Yay!
It's a vinyl sticker. It's nice. It's waterproof, dishwasher safe. The ornament and the shirt, 20% of proceeds are going to OCD Gamechangers, to a cause that I'm very passionate about that they are coming out with in 2021. It's an ERP scholarship. Yeah, for people who don't know what ERP is, it's a therapy scholarship for OCD specifically. Tell your friends and family members to buy these products, show their family support for OCD, and you're helping someone else get treatment that they really need.
Yep.
So we're spreading the word and we're helping people get into the treatment that they really need.
Yay! Well, this is so exciting. I'm so glad you're doing this. I can't wait till all the new stuff you're going to be coming out with in 2021. Like my mind is brewing with things.
Yeah, me too. I was up till 1 a.m. last night. I was like, I'm never going to sleep again.
Well, this is awesome. Just everybody, if you haven't bought your stuff yet, go out and buy it. But if you just want to wait to see if you're going to get one at the event, that's okay too. We are going to be doing some giveaways during our December 12th event. We're going to bring, I don't know if you know this, but we're going to bring you on, Elise, during the event. For you to check in and tell everybody who you are and what you're doing. So I was going to tell you that over email, but now I'm just telling you in public. So
like, did everyone see the anxiety in my face when she said that? I'm like, okay.
So you will see Elise again on December 12th, along with myself and about 20 other OCD advocates and therapists. Elise, any final words for individuals that may be on the fence about doing advocacy and just kind of scared to take the leap?
I've seen a lot of people suggest this too. It's tiny steps. Like, if you're not ready to wear a shirt out in public, that's totally understandable. It even scares me, and I've been doing this for 6 years. Buy the sticker, put it on your journal that you only bring to therapy. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll see someone else in the waiting room, and small things like that get you comfortable expressing that you live with OCD to other people, whether it's indirectly, just through the sticker speaking for itself, or directly through words, sharing a post. I really would love if anyone who does buy the products posts a picture of them and writes about what it's like when they see obsessive Christmas disorder products. So that's a more direct way, but baby steps. Maybe it's just hanging the ornament in your house. No one else sees it, but your family sees it. It doesn't have to be like a huge show right away.
Yep. Awesome. Well, those of us at Game Changers, that's one of our missions, is to really support and help elevate people that are stepping into advocacy. It is a scary world at first and can feel very lonely. And OCD Game Changers was created specifically to be able to be a platform that can support your work. We want to be able to get your story out into the world because it's lived experience that really does lift the shame. It lifts the guilt. It lifts the embarrassment. And most of the people that I know, I have to say most, but I would venture to say all, but that's a bit definitive. Most of the people that I know that have actually stepped into advocacy, it has not only helped in their own recovery journey, but it was never as scary as they really thought that it was going to be. So we encourage you today, if you're thinking about it, make it a 2021 goal. Just like Elise said, do baby steps, reach out to Game Changers and let us know how we can support you in that work. Elise, thank you for being you and being part of this community and doing this awesome work. We're so excited to see all the wonderful things you're going to be doing.
Thank you so much for having me and helping to elevate this. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, anytime. And for those of you watching, thank you so much for being here. December 12th, it's like 2 weeks, y'all. It's less than 2 weeks. OCD Game Changers, Not Alone Notes, hosting this kick-ass fundraising event live, YouTube and OCD Game Changers Facebook page. Go to our page for more information. Go to our Instagram at OCD Game Changers. If you have questions, email us at ocdgamechangers@gmail.com. It is going to be a freaking blast. I will see you the Friday before for a Fireside Friday. Until then, y'all take care, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Bye.